Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for participating in today's webinar. Today's topic is IAM is new and improved SaaS with CASB, focusing on Sangfor IAM. After the presentation, we will have a Q&A session. Please type your questions in the Q&A module at the bottom right corner. Our product manager, Aaron, will reply them one by one. Thank you. The webinar will now start. Let's welcome our speaker, Aaron, from Sangfor International Marketing Team.
Hello, everyone. This is Aaron from Sangfor Headquarter Marketing and Product Team. So in this afternoon, we will introduce the new firmware 12.0.2023. So this is a new firmware that focusing on to improve the SaaS application management from the networks to protect our customers in the trend of the shadow IT, and more and more customers and more users are using the SaaS applications. So this is the topic. So we go with the new features. So currently, the new trend is that we have a lot of our SaaS application is already used by a lot of our customers. So we have the report says that more than 60% of the spending will go for public cloud by the year of 2020. So you can see it's quite a lot comparing to the previous hardware and appliance investment. And more than 73% of the organizations state that they almost all of their applications will be SaaS powered by 2020. So the trend is that more customers and the more organizations are adopting the new technologies to simplify their network and also simplify the management of users and applications. So the quote, there is one suggestion and one quote from the Forrester says that if you are not using SaaS application broadly, your business risk falling behind. So this is why a lot of organizations are trying to adopting and implementing the SaaS application. So why does these large numbers of organizations, just like you, are adopting the new technologies of SaaS application? It is because there is four main advantages of applying the SaaS application. The first one is the flexible payment. So comparing to the traditional hardware solutions, they have to pay the devices in one time to buy the devices. So SaaS application can be flexible payment. It can be a subscription mode. Like I can pay by months, pay by a year. So it's more flexible for the customers to applying for their budget and managing their applications. Second is scalability. So this is a hardware appliance, it is very complex or it's very hard. Sometimes it's impossible for them to extend their capacities to offer more services or more service to the users. So when it's coming to SaaS application, you just need to apply your new requirement and adding new payment for the service providers. They will do the extension for our customers. So regarding the scalability is also one of the advantages why the customers trying to expand trying to select the SaaS application. And the third is accessibility. So nowadays it's coming to an age of BYOD. Everyone is trying to bring their own devices, and the office is just not in a fixed place. Everyone is going out and moving everywhere from different places. Even in the Starbucks, they are working. So the accessibility becomes a main requirement for nowadays for the modern business operations. The users have to access the data freely and in an easy way to get the data. So accessibility also is one of the main requirement, comes from the end users, not just from the management team. And of course, the cost is always a hot topic, and the main concern from the IT managers and the CIOs. They always trying to consider a cost-effective solution instead of applying new devices, keep investing in the new devices. So the cost is also one of the main concern coming from the why they consider SaaS application. So this is the four main benefits of SaaS applications. So we said that there was a lot of benefits, but at the same time, it also brings a lot of risk to implement the SaaS application. So the main risk is about the data security, because the user can access previously the data is stored at the organization's data center. They may deploy different level of security protections to the data, to the services, to the devices. But now the devices, the security boundaries is disappearing. You cannot just protect the user from the organization's data center. So the data is in the cloud. The user is accessing the data from the internet, provided by the ISP or open internet access. So the data security becomes main concern that some of the organizations still considering try or not, whether or not to try or to implement the SaaS application. And there was also the legal compliance from the government about their like auditing the users' internet access or the data access behaviors, what they have done in the networks. So they have to make a lot of provide solutions to monitoring their user behaviors and controlling the user, because the SaaS application nowadays is most of them is encrypted, and so we cannot have previously the traditional solution. We have like solutions like SWG or firewalls. We can monitor some part of the user behaviors, but when the user is getting out of the network, we have less measures to monitor what the user have done. The users are out of control. So this is a main concern and risk some of the organizations are considering whether or not trying to implement the SaaS applications. But whether or not the organizations does implement SaaS application, the users are still using the SaaS applications. So this is what we call the shadow IT problem. So the shadow IT refers to the applications or the services that used to without and out of control or known by the department. So it means that the IT department have less knowledge about the user, about the applications. So here is the data we find shows that 80% of the user use SaaS application at work without IT approval. So it's quite different from the traditional deployment implementation. You have to rely on the IT department to deploy or implement one application, then you can access to the application. So nowadays, there was a lot of service providers. The user can select whatever they want. For example, the Google the mail service like Office 365 or Dropbox, this kind of SaaS application. They can be easily used and make their work simplified. Like sharing files, they can synchronize all the data to the cloud, and then wherever they go, they can get the data. So there was more than 1,000 applications and cloud services run in the network. So you can see there was large numbers of applications really in the network, and only 10% are known by the IT and less meets the security requirements. So it's also different from the traditional solution. When they implement a new solution, they have a long procedure to verify whether this application is well protected or is there any risk will bring by this application. But there's open cloud services, the user can be easily accessed. There is no this kind of evaluation and a protection. So it will bring some risk to the network. And what's worse is that there was more than 50 sharing services like Google Drive, like Dropbox, this kind of like Evernote, this kind of applications. The user can synchronize and share the configuration document and files to the service provider. So this will bring some risk like data leakage. So this is the shadow. The problem brings by the SaaS application, the convenience user can access, but also bring the problem to the networks and brings troubles to the IT managers. And the new threat is that nowadays almost all of the websites are encrypted by HTTPS, like Facebook, Gmail, Salesforce, this kind of daily operation applications. So the benefit is that we can protect this kind of data, but at the same time, because the traffic is encrypted, so we cannot know what is happening in the network. So if we have the devices like SWG or other devices, we can monitor the user behavior previously, but when the traffic is encrypted, the problem comes is that you cannot know what's happening in the network and what user is done in the network. We have to solve that problem. So facing these new trends and new challenges in the real network environment, what we should do. So here is one of the suggestions provided by Sangfor, that we have to manage the SaaS application in the right way. So the right procedure to manage that, the first one is discovery. You have to know what application is in the network, what user is done in there. And second is that after we see, we can control it. We can manage it, and we can set some levels that whether this application is allowed or not, permitted by you, and whether they can use, whether the users can use these applications. And third step is to control the user behaviors. So later we will introduce how we can control the user behaviors or SaaS applications by Sangfor IAM. And the last step is we have to analyze, because we get a lot of data, we have the report, so we have to analyze this kind of user behaviors to find whether there is any risk and to our network, to our organizations. So this is the main steps we have to facing the risk bring by SaaS application. So regarding the first step is that we about discovery. So as we see that if you cannot see, you cannot control and you cannot manage it. So by discovery applications, we can know whether there is any risk in the network. So by Sangfor, we offer the built-in application, SaaS application database. So after you implement SaaS application, implement Sangfor IAM, it will automatically to run the inventory process, discover whether there is any what of the SaaS application is run in your network. For example, you can see the report here. We will automatically define the application is in which category. So we have the databases automatically categorized by like, for example, the bandwidth consuming applications, or the data leakage applications, or the disclosure or risk applications will reduce the efficiency of work. So this is the automatically will show which category this application belongs to, and the status of the application will become new. So by this, we will know that how many applications are there, and which category it belongs to, and does it already there was some user using it, or is there any policy regarding to this application. So this is the first step by discovering the application. The second step is we said to manage the application. So here the managing the application, just we do a set a tag for this application. So here we have two main types of the application. One is a section, and the second is unsectioned application. So the section application means these applications provided by IT teams with security guarantee and allowed to be used by the users. So this is our maybe the IT department implemented, or the applications may known by the IT department that they do not have any or less risk to the network. The unsectioned means that these applications are potentially dangerous and doesn't want the user to use them, and they will bring some security risk and a data leakage risk to the organizations. So by tagging these applications, we will know the general general status of the SaaS applications, about how many are allowed or may be used by the user, and how many are blocked or should be blocked by our network, by the IT administrators. So this is the second step by managing the applications, by giving the application a tag for better and detailed management. So the first main step is that we have to control the user behaviors to reduce the risk. So by reducing the risk, what we can do here is, one is set up control policies to control the over the applications, and second is to block the applications to not allow the users to use applications. So when we see the control that we have, we can do some granular control over the applications. The first main scenario is that the safe search features provided by Sangfor IAM. That so we know that in the network, everyone can access to the search engine like Google, Bing, sometimes YouTube. But the benefit is that you can get information easily and quickly by these kind of search engines. But the risk is that it may comes out with every information, including the information that may that is inappropriate to display at the workplace. For example, some of the user may the organizations are providing service to your customers, but at the same time, your staff or employee may searching some entertainment or gambling or the information or porn information that is inappropriate to display at the workplace. So what we can do is to block this kind of inappropriate information to be displayed at workplace. So Sangfor IAM can provide a safe search at your workplace, including the Google, Bing, and YouTube. And second is that we can provide a workplace to allow the user to access only the one of the Facebook page. For example, Sangfor, we have our marketing team, right? So they can only access to Sangfor's Facebook page. They can upload the events, share the innovations about Sangfor, and they can the users can set up the policy that the employees can only access to the Facebook workplace instead of the entertainment Facebook pages like NBA or other entertainment or time-consuming applications to access by the user. And second, another scenario is the YouTube channel control. So nowadays, the companies are using the YouTube for uploading their training videos, and everything was put there. But if you allow user to access YouTube resources, it will bring the problem lower productivity. User may access to other entertainment or low efficiency application videos like music, movies, sports, and games. So what we can do here is that we can only allow the user to, for example, Sangfor staff can only access to Sangfor YouTube channels which provides only the training videos or marketing videos, not allow the user to access to the music, movie, sports, and game channels. So by improving the productivity, we can create a 100% workplace. So we know that for Google Suite and Office 365 and Dropbox, they both provide an enterprise account and also the personal account. So what we can do is that we can only allow the user to access to the enterprise account instead of the personal account. And also by this control, you can reduce the risk of the data leakage. For example, the user are sharing the data by like Google Drive. If you allow the Google Drive service by the user, that they may share this confidential file or document to the internet by their own account instead of the enterprise account. So it's same with the Office 365. The personal account can send emails or share files via this service, but you don't know whether this is enterprise behavior or personal behavior. So by this control over the SaaS applications, we can reduce the risk of data leakage by only allow the user to access the enterprise services provided by the SaaS application like Google G Suite, Office 365, and Dropbox. And also managing the data leakage like what we said, Office 365, Gmail, and like Evernote. We can audit the user behaviors. So we can audit whatever the user have done in the network and run some behavior control. For example, we can allow the user only only download the files from the services or from the cloud, but we block the user to upload the files to the internet, to the cloud. So by this, the user can only read but cannot share any document to the internet. And also there is some industry, they have regulations, or some countries or regions have the law or legal compliance regulations that they have to keep the user logs whenever they access in the network. So Sangfor IAM will also provide this kind of compliance services, and provided by Sangfor IAM to log all the user behaviors to meet the requirement and compliance requirement provided by regulated by the industry standards or the regional laws. So the last step is that after we virtualize, manage, and control over the user behaviors, we have to analyze generate reports about the total status of the SaaS applications. For example, here we have the report about SaaS application, like totally how many applications are there and how many are like what we said, unsanctioned, and how many are the new discovered applications. You have to take actions to them. And here we have the sample that there is 15 applications. 6 of them are the reduced risk of work efficiency, like for example, these applications are related to like entertainment, gaming, or news application. And 3 of them are disclosure risk. For example, the cloud drive, they may sharing the files to the internet, document to the internet, or sending emails on email services provided by the service provider. And in all of the categories, for example, the reduced work efficiency, which of the users have the most risk that are using these applications will be shown here. So you can check, you can keep monitoring which user have the risk, and check the logs of or related to this user, what file he has sent and what application he has used. So Sangfor IAM provides with a business-centric, not just offering the report about the applications. We categorize all the applications and relate it to your business operation. And third feature, main feature is that it's an easy understanding. By this dashboard, you can easily understand what the actions you have to do and what stage of this application. For example, this application is an section or unsection, or you have to take the control policies over the users. And also we provide the unmatched visibility by Sangfor Report Center. So regarding the SaaS application, we say that almost all the applications are encrypted, and we have to decrypt that. So Sangfor provides the unmatched visibility and the performance regarding the decryption and SaaS application control. So we have the internal database. If you want to decrypt that application, you just need to select the application. You don't need to put any URLs in the and to set up the configuration. So it's easy to configure decryption. So we suggest is that we provide two solutions. One is decryption by the hardware, by the CPU, but also we provide another accelerated decryption solution is by adding the decryption card. So we have the additional decryption card to accelerate the decryption performance based on Sangfor IAM devices. So by the hardware acceleration card, the performance will be improved more. Currently, comparing to the previous decryption performance, current solution will provide more than 100% improvement decryption performance. And here is summarization about how Sangfor offers our SaaS application management solution. So first step is discovery. We can identify whether there is how many new application is there and what we should do, what we need to manage or control over these applications. And second is evaluation, whether we allow the user to access or use this kind of application. If we allow this application, and then we have to set a control policy, for example, set the account control, allow only the enterprise account, block the personal account, and a specified control like blocking the upload and only allow the download, and content identification like set up the OT policy for these applications. If we do not allow the user applications, you just can set up the block policy for these applications. So this is the whole process of the management. After that, we can analyze the report about these user behaviors and the SaaS application. So in this firmware, we also have another improvement based on the main requirement from our customers. So previously in the project, in the cases, some of the customers, they have set up the policy for example, only allow some of the users access only like for example 1 day 10 gigabit or 1 day 5 hours in internet access, or for specified applications. But there is no operational report about for example how many quota the user have been used, and how can I reset the policy if one of the user have been run out of their quota. So now we will provide you with a dashboard of detailed user utilization information. For example, how much time this user have been using, and how much internet quota this user have been using, have used. If you want to set policy, you can select the users and to reset the quota to become the new package. So this is the improvement about the quota management regarding the user quota control policy. So this is the main features provided in the new firmware regarding the SaaS application management. So we will take some time for the Q&A session. So you can put your questions in the chat room, so we will answer you one by one.
Okay, thank you for your sharing, Aaron. We now have a Q&A session. Please type your questions in the Q&A module, and Aaron will reply them one by one. Thank you.
Okay, the first question is about
Okay, here we got a first question from Binza, and his question is, SaaS application is appliance or third party of IAM or already included in IAM?
Okay, so thanks for the question. Regarding the SaaS application, it's category or services provided by service provider. For example, the SAP, they provide their services to the organizations about their customer relationship management. It's not the services provided by Sangfor. So we will provide the management and control policy over this kind of applications. For the example we checked before that, like the Google Suite, the Google G Suite. This is the service provided by Google. So the enterprises, they may acquire or adopt this kind of service and let the users to use in their organizations. So what Sangfor will do that, we will IAM is in the hardware appliance and also can be virtualized, deployed in your network if you have a like hyper-convergent infrastructure in your network for virtualized platform. So when IAM deployed, we will analyze the user traffic. For example, the user is using the Google G Suite, what is doing, and what file he sent to the internet. So this is a new feature provided by IAM and included in it. It's not a separate device.
Okay, here we got the second question. Can you describe the difference of the solution to the NGFW solution that usually can control apps and content?
Okay, so this is a question most of our it's commonly asked by our customers. The question is about the main difference between IAM and NG firewall. So when we say NG firewall, a lot of customers have the mindset that firewall also provide the features about the application control or content control. But the problem is that when firewall enables this kind of features, the performance will drop drastically. So we have the data testing on one of the vendors NG firewall that if they enable the access control, application control features, the performance almost drop half. We got comparing to they serving as a firewall of the network performance. So you can see that if they enable the firewall, the application control features, the performance will be dropped. And also the main positioning of IAM and firewall is very clear. That when we talk about a firewall, no one say that firewall is providing the application control features. So instead that everyone is saying that firewall is providing security protection features like IPS, we provide the antivirus, or we provide the threat intelligence. So this is the main job that firewall should do, and actually this is what they are doing. And it's quite different from firewalls that IAM provide the granular control management features for the IT manager, for the CIOs, and reporting features. So when we talk about IAM, is that we say that IAM provides the ground control over the SaaS applications, like improving work productivity, improving the control over the user behaviors, analyzing the risk of the network. So this is what we say when introducing the IAM. So hope this clear your concern about the difference between IAM and firewall.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. Any other questions? Okay, here we got another question from Albert. Does the SaaS application control need conditional license?
Okay, so regarding the license problem, because this is an application control and identification feature, so we need the application license. So this is what we provided before. It's not an additional license. But regarding the decryption performance, as we say that we suggest our customers to add the decryption card, which will improve the decryption performance and accelerate the decryption process and performance when managing the SaaS application.
Okay, if there are no more questions, this will be the end of today's webinar. We hope to see you again. And if you have any questions, please visit our website or send us an email. Thank you again for your participation today. Bye.
Thank you for your time. Bye.